Hello everyone, it's Mr. Fraser Films 2009 here, or better known as Fromond now. It's been like a decade since I've done a Let's Play, and there's a bit of a Let's Play renaissance going on with my good friend Crystal Fisher and Nintendo Gen 64 now back in the game. I thought it was befitting that I joined them too. Starting off with Toy Story 2, because if there's anyone who actually watched my videos back in the day, they would know I've tried to Let's Play this game 3 times. So, you know what? 4th time's the charm. So, it's been, maybe not a decade since I did Let's Playing. I think I did one last year. Yeah, I did Spyro 1 last year, and then I forgot to upload the rest of the parts. I did half the Let's Play, and I completely forgot about it. So, let's get into this. It has been, like, half a decade, so don't mind if I'm a little bit rusty with the whole Let's Playing thing. We're gonna do Andy's house. Okay, so, gotta get the coin before it disappears. I remember they disappear. So this is cool. Like, I always thought this really cool as a kid. You can see Buzz's face in the reflection. You have to remember, like, imagine you're like, I think I was 5 years old when I first played this game, and you have to remember, like, this was the coolest thing at the time, you know. You'd watch the movies, and then next thing you know, this is Andy's room, this is Andy's house from the movies, and I get to explore it, and, like, you know, you got the little bank. It's excellent pixelated quality right here. I love that. I thought that was really cool as a kid, and you could see the neighborhood and his skybox glory outside. I thought that was really cool as well at the time. So it has been quite a while since I've done a Let's Play on this channel. I don't think anyone watching this, like, I've got like 500-ish subscribers, but I don't. Okay, I gotta say, this was like the coolest thing as a kid, like the little globe and the coffee mug. I thought that was so cool. Up we go. Whee! Yeah, no, I thought this was like just the coolest thing as a kid, just being able to explore Andy's room. It's just, the novelty was cool at the time when you're 5. And there's Molly's crib, which is, for some reason, it was in his room in the movies, wasn't it? I don't know, my Toy Story lore is a bit rusty. See, I watched every Toy Story film in order a few months ago, and I want to give you my unofficial ranking, or my official ranking. So, this is going to be a bit controversial, but in order of best to worst, I think the best Toy Story movie is Toy Story 2, followed by Toy Story 4, followed by Toy Story 1, followed by Toy Story 3. Yeah, a bit controversial, because I think most people seem to sort of prefer Toy Story 1 than Toy Story... Well, I think like, Toy Story 2 is, like, the fan favorite, but, ultimately, I kind of... So here's my take, like, why is Toy Story... Like, every movie's good. I'm not saying, like, one is worse than the other. They're all, like, pretty solid films. But, like, Toy Story 1 is obviously a fan favorite because it's the first movie, and it's the most nostalgic movie. It's, you know, I reckon I, like, shoved that movie into my VCR player, like, every week as a kid. I used to just get up every morning in my pajamas and go to my dad and be like, I want to watch Toy Story. My dad would have to get up out of bed to make me watch Toy Story. So I love that movie. I love it to death. It's like the first time I ever discovered nostalgia as a kid was rewatching Toy Story for the first time in years when I was like 11 years old, and just being hit with this wave of emotion which, like, an 11-year-old had never experienced. And that's when I realized, oh, that's nostalgia. I miss the old days. I'm getting old enough to miss when I was a child. So Toy Story 1 is like a really good movie. But when I rewatched it, it kind of hit me that it's a very dated film. I know that's going to cause some controversy to the one person watching this, potentially. It's dated. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just... It's very obvious that it was, like, the beginning of, like, computer animation film, and they weren't very confident in the film itself. Like, it's very obvious that they weren't really sure that the film was going to succeed or what the hell was going on with 3D animation. It's not that the animation is ugly, although Andy certainly doesn't look his best in that film. but it's just shit. I didn't really prepare for this boss. It's just kind of like the story itself. It's straightforward. It's a good story. It's a very solid story. Like it's straightforward. It's funny. It's a good movie. Like I'd probably give it like a 10 out of 10 in terms of children films. I can't stress enough. I love the film. But if you're gonna compare every Toy Story film and what I enjoyed the most out of Toy Story, I just kind of sat there this time when I watched it, and it was like a really short film. It's like only like an hour and like 10 minutes or something. You know, it ends before it begins. It's just yeah, it's a straightforward film. And then you've got Toy Story 2, which is obviously like it takes everything from Toy Story 1 and it's just like we're gonna make it better. So that's why Toy Story 2 is obviously the best film. And Toy Story 4, I did not expect that movie to be good at all. Like I went into it with zero expectations. I kind of knew like Pixar is not that good these days. So I was not expecting like Toy Story to enjoy Toy Story 4 at all. I just thought, yeah, it's just gonna be like because Monsters University is the best example I can think of. Monsters University is also like a really fun, good film, but I never have rewatched it since it came out in cinemas. Once I saw it once, I didn't need to see it again. I've watched Monsters Inc. millions of times, but Monsters University I've only watched like once, and maybe I'll watch it again one day. But ultimately, it's just not a film that interests me that much. It was once again a straightforward story. It doesn't really add much to the world. Toy Story 4, on the other hand, actually is really emotional. Now, before I get into Toy Story 4, I have to talk about Toy Story 3 and why is that the worst ranked on my Toy Story films list. I remember seeing that in cinemas at the time. I thought it was like the beginning of nostalgia films from memory. I remember seeing the trailer for Toy Story 3 and I thought, okay, this is so cool. I cannot believe, like, I was obviously experiencing nostalgia for the first time, so to realize they were making a Toy Story 3 was, like, the coolest thing at the time. Like, I never thought I'd see a Toy Story 3, and there it was. Nostalgia films were not that big at the time, so the idea that we were suddenly being like, yep, here's a film a sequel to a film you enjoyed as a child. Hope you enjoy. It didn't happen often at the time, so the fact that they were making one at all, amazing. And so I remember seeing it in cinemas. I cried. Like, that ending is so sad. And the beginning of the film is so bleak. So it's kind of like, the Toy Story 3 is just genuinely such a bleak movie. I love it. They went there. They went for the full nostalgia. They knew that their audience was... I do apologize if I'm playing the game quite badly. I'm just kind of focusing on talking, but if you're here for gameplay, you probably should get the fuck out of here, because I do not give a shit right now. I'm just playing whilst, like, rambling about fucking Toy Story. This is not a speedrun. This is not a fucking competition. This is just me rambling. We'll get to alleyway in 12 parts. Anyway, Toy Story 3, I cried. I thought it was good. It was just such a solid nostalgia film. It just hit the right mark. But when I was rewatching it, it's like kind of one of those films, like, even though I had seen it once in 2010, and then I saw it again in 2021, so like 11 years later, it's kind of like I didn't need to watch it again. Like, I kind of watched it and it didn't really have the same effect on me. And you kind of realize that not much actually happens in that film. They, like, the good bits are like the first, like, maybe 20 or 30 minutes of the film, and then the last, like, 10 minutes of the film or something. Like, everything at Andy's house, maybe the beginning of the daycare center, and everything after the trash compactor, like, is 10 out of 10. Emotional, beautiful, wonderful. But everything sandwiched in between that isn't that interesting, you know? So that's why Toy Story 3 doesn't really rank that highly for me in the list of Toy Story films. Does it have a good start? Yes. Does it have a very emotional ending? Yes. I when I rewatched it, I still teared up at that ending. But is it one of the better Toy Story films? Not really. So that's why it comes to Toy Story 4. This is why I like Toy Story 4, because it committed to the bit. Like, it didn't just sort of weak out in the halfway mark, but the whole film from beginning to end is a deeply thematic existential journey for Woody the fucking cowboy. And they kind of went places which I was kind of surprised they went with for, like, they kind of got very daring in the sense that they kind of, like, obviously, like, okay, so this is vague spoilers for Toy Story 4, but it's obviously about Woody kind of dealing with the fact that all his life he's kind of bared this sort of emotional responsibility to be there for children. And then Toy Story 4 is like, well, what if Woody didn't have to do that? Because one of the pressing questions of the entire Toy Story franchise has always been, well, what is the purpose of being a toy? To please children. And what is a toy without that? Well, nothing. So that's why Toy Story 3 is really depressing. It's kind of like, well, Andy's grown up and they have no purpose. But what makes the ending so poignant is that they finally find a new child and can begin again, and that's like really touching. But I think one of the biggest things about like moving on, and this is such a weird theme which is in a movie about children's toys, which is like the idea of like growing up and moving on. You know, Toy Story 3 deals with those themes, but it never really, it still has an ending which kind of doesn't really have a message as much as it is they move on and meet a new kid and can begin again, and that's kind of cool, you know. That's part of the journey of moving on. But Toy Story 4 is like, well, part of moving on is also like beginning again, literally, quite literally. So obviously the ending kind of goes somewhere where I didn't expect it to go. But for those who have seen the ending, they would know that it's kind of like a really interesting take on the concept of moving on and beginning again, and like attachment and detachment. Anyway, I've rambled a lot about Toy Story films, and I've kind of rambled in circles. So that's half the fun of these Let's Plays that you're about to experience. Just me rambling on. So what have I been up to since I last did a Let's Play? Depends. How long have you been watching my channel? I've graduated university. I went to university in the first place. So the last time we were here, shit. Sorry, I have not. I really mean it when I have not played this game since I last did a Let's Play of it, literally in 2015. I tried to do a Let's Play of it. I was going through quite the personality crisis at the time, so like the Let's Play I got to Owl's Toy Bomb, and there's this lost part which I wish I just uploaded anyway, and it would have been hilarious to have uploaded. But I got like halfway through Owl's Toy Bomb. I got really self-conscious about the fact that I was like 18 years old at the time, and I was playing a children's game and I was talking to myself whilst recording footage, and that gave me this weird sort of existential crisis at the time. And like halfway through my Let's Play, I just stop and I'm like, I literally just end the part being like, this is fucking stupid. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. And like, I think it's about like for like 2 minutes, I still keep going because I'm like kind of hyper fixated on the Let's Play at this point. I'm still playing and I'm saying, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. I fucking hate this. And then I just stopped recording, and that was the end of that Let's Play, and that part obviously never got uploaded. God, so this game gives me a bit of a segue from existential crises to my childhood. No, this game gives me a lot of nostalgia, because like this is like one of the early childhood games I played. I remember I used to oh, I got a sheep. I remember, like, obviously my dad got it for me from the video store, and he had shipped my PlayStation at the time, so he rented it. Well, we rented it or whatever. Yay, we got the Pizza Platter token. I do appreciate this. Unlike Mario 64, when you collect a token, you can select keep playing. Wow, you don't just punish the player for like actually collecting shit. Who would have thought? Someone's going to tell me in the comments now that that's not how Mario 64 works. Well, fuck you. I don't know how Mario 64 works. This is Toy Story 2. I can't play Mario 64. I used to hold the controller. You know that spider thing of a controller? Okay, what have we got? I didn't select a select button. Shit. I think with the race. God, stupid race. I do want to try and 100% these levels whilst we're here. You know, there's controllers, the Toy Story, oh, I'm gonna lose this race, aren't I? Because I just don't really feel like it. That's the thing. I just don't really feel like it. I'm not in the mood to use my brain right now. You have to kind of cut him off to win, and then he gets like, you kind of go over this petrol, and he kind of gets stuck for a bit. But then he catches up, and you got to get in the way of him, but you can't really see him. These little robots in the way. Anyway, there's Nintendo 64 controller. I used to think they were made for fucking spiders. You can't really hold that shit right. And I used to hold it like you would with a PlayStation controller, but apparently that's not how you meant to hold them. You meant to. Yeah, has anyone seen The Sopranos? There's like this really good Soprano scene where like he's like holding the controller, and that's how I used to hold, like Tony Soprano is holding the controller whilst AJ is playing like Mario Kart or something, and James Gandolfini is just holding the controller like a fucking bozo, and that's how I used to hold my like Nintendo 64 controller back in the day. So I'm drinking a Dare Toffee Nut Latte. Good nut. Good nut. Okay, I think this is... We'll find out. We'll find out, because it will give you like a little screen at the end, and it'll be like, this is how much tokens you've got. Alright, what have we got? What have we got? Is there... Did I get that one? Yeah, I got that. Okay, we did it. We went 100% of the level. There's so many coins as well. Cool. We did it. No, I don't have a memory card. I can't really save my game. Alrighty, we did... So we got it. Look, I just wanted to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens. That's amazing. Okay, we're going to do Andy's Neighborhood next. Sorry, I have, fuck off, copyright strike. You can't get me, Disney. You cannot get me. I'm invincible. If you just talk over it, it's fair use, I think. Anyway, I have ADHD. I have ADHD. This is a cry for help, honestly. I have ADHD. That was diagnosed, like, last year. But it's pretty obvious in hindsight that I have ADHD. But because of that, kind of expect me to sort of ramble in circles a little bit. I don't know how to sort of just shut the fuck up, basically, and I'll go off on different tangents, and, you know, this is the first time I've done Let's Playing in a while, and I think the one thing I want to kind of get used to for Let's Plays is just learning to shut the fuck up, and just shut the fuck up, Walter, and let me die in peace. Yo, Mr. White. Magnets, bitch. Breaking Bad, what a show. Better Call Saul is better, though. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Alright. Oh, look at the duck. Quack, quack. I was going somewhere at some point. That's the thing you're gonna have to expect. I'll like go, are we talking about a topic? I think one thing I might try and do, if people actually enjoy this, I might try and instead do live streaming. Because I feel like with live streaming, it means I can actually talk to the audience. See, the one thing I don't like about Let's Playing is you just kind of have to talk to yourself. And it just feels really weird. Like, I'll probably get some co-commentators on as well. Like Angus, Fissure, Ingrid, if you're watching this, because I know you're watching this, Ingrid. Ingrid's my girlfriend. She's lovely. So I'll probably get someone like that on, so I have someone to talk to, and I don't have to just sort of talk to myself. Johnny, if you're watching, that would be good to get you on. But like, because I've got ADHD, it's a little bit hard for me to sort of be reined in, I suppose. So it's this kind of oh, did I do this right? Oh shit. See, stuff like that. I'll be talking halfway through, and as soon as something like grabs my attention, that's it. I'm done. I've forgotten what I'm saying. I used to think this level was so cool. I used to find that like Buzz Lightyear shirt like really cool. So with the hot pants, kind of tell me that rednecks live here. Ah! Okay, we got the army dude. I have not, because this level kind of, and this is my least favorite thing about like PlayStation 1 games or like collecting games in general, is you have to like backtrack if you want to like, so like the race you can't complete at all. You have to like go back, and I'll probably dedicate a whole part to backtracking or something. I don't know how I'm going to structure this. I think most people like, chances are, and I'm going to call you the fuck out right now, get off your fucking phone, get off your, like, Nintendo Switch, get off whatever the fuck you're doing, stop playing whatever game you're playing, just watch me play. I would prefer it if you watch me. No, just do whatever you want. Because that's the thing, who watches Let's Plays anymore? Who sits down and watches a Let's Play and actually watches the gameplay, unless they're using it to, like, fall asleep or something? I want this Let's Play to be so boring that you can fall asleep to it. That is my ultimate goal. Like, if someone said that to me, that, oh, I watch your videos to help me get to sleep, that would be the biggest compliment ever to me. Like, I cannot stress enough, because that's why I watch, like, Let's Plays. Like, most of the content I watch on YouTube is, oh shit, this is gonna make someone, like, click unsubscribe. Sorry. I explicitly watch Let's Plays to fall asleep. Sometimes I'll, like, put on, like, a Let's Play, like, especially if it's, like, Fissure or Angus's, because it's like, hey, these are my friends, I want to see what they're doing, kind of thing. But for the most part, I put Let's Plays on in the background when I'm, like, actually doing things. I never actually sit down and watch it. That could just be ADHD. In fact, it actually is just ADHD. Like, wait, is it like sorry, I get fucking distracted. It is, like, part of ADHD is that sort of, like, whole vibe of, like, you can't sit down and just watch something. So, no shit, I can't watch fucking Let's Plays. I can't sit still. I can't sit still and watch them from start to finish. I have to, like, always be doing something else, so no shit. But I'm sure, like, someone who's watching this is, like, on their phone right now. And if you are, just give me a little comment and say what you think about this, and say what you want to see more of or something. Because I will I'll try and do that. Like, if you want me to sort of shut the fuck up, say so. I don't care. I have no fear. I have no fear of criticism. Like, because this is the first Let's Play I've done in years, and I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. And I cannot stay focused on one topic right now. I think the one thing I'm keep getting distracted every time I talk about is just the pure nostalgia I have for this game. Because, yeah, like I said, my dad rented this from the video store. Oh my god, this stupid hit detection. This game sucks. And I think this is, like, one of my most played games at the time as a kid, and I don't know why it was. I think it was just the simplicity of it, which is why I almost Let's Play it so much. It's just such a simple game. You know, you collect the tokens, you collect 5 of them, there's 5 each level. Simple as that. But even just, like, the logo, I obviously didn't show the logo on this because I just did not feel like recording that. It took me, like, 5 times to record this to get to the point where I felt comfortable enough speaking about it, like, all the way through. Oh, shit. But, yeah, like, it's the simplicity of the game that I loved as a kid, and, like, there's just so many memories of, like, just playing this game. Like, I used to have, in my dad's house, he had my PlayStation 1 attached to this really tiny little TV, because, like, TVs were really small back in the day. I mean, everyone who's watching this is probably my age, so of course you know. But TVs were really small back in the day, so if you had a big TV, it was still just like a box, which meant if you had a spare TV in the first place, it was gonna be a tiny box. Oh my god, I hate this fucking kite, Jesus Christ. Oh. You're spinning. This music used to scare me as a kid. I don't know why it did. Oh, it's just ominous music, you know. Ah! Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Ah! No! What? You dick! You fucking dick! You dick! You absolute motherfucking dick! Oh my god, that's so frustrating. Okay. Fuck it, who cares about my nostalgia? I think this is a topic that's going nowhere. I think I'm trying to build an image. I'm trying to build an image of the game I played as a kid, you know, and what it was like playing the kid. I played it on this tiny little TV at the dining table, and my dad, like, so obviously I said my dad chipped our PlayStation, and we used to go to this this little game store. I still remember, like, this game store, like, had, like, Nintendo 64 games, Nintendo games, and, like, you could rent them, and it wasn't like an EB Games or, like, GameStop kind of thing. It was like a very, I think it was an independent game store, but I don't remember. Like, you don't have independent game stores anymore, but they used to be, like, really common back in the day, and that was so cool. I don't get them anymore. But this is one of those sort of independent game stores, I believe. Or maybe it was Game Traders. I don't remember. But, no, we got it. We did it. And we used to go there. And it was like the coolest thing as a kid. I was 5. I didn't realize how illegal this was, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever. That, like, yeah, I could just pick a game and we could rent it, and then my dad could burn it, and we owned it. Like, we owned it. Can I get in trouble for this? It wasn't me. I was 5. It was my dad. Go get him if you're watching this, the police. Anyway, I just thought that was so cool. Like, I loved it. And Toy Story 2 was one of those games which I don't remember when I got it or when I picked it, but obviously I like Toy Story, so it makes sense that, like, this is a game that I, like, rented and loved. And sorry, I'm drinking my nut. Okay. I'm trying to think. So we've got the piggy bank dude, Ham. We've got that sorted. I gotta go find him. And then the race we can't do. If only so I'm obviously using this on an emulator and I haven't set up my controller properly, so I can't actually check if I've got every token. And someone's watching this and being like, "You idiot," or something. And I was like, no, I don't give a shit. Like I said, if you're here to see me play the game, well, you're severely disappointed. You're only here because you want to see me play. You want to see me specifically play. And if you give a shit about the gameplay, like I said, get the fuck out of here. I don't really care. Like, this is the first Let's Play I've done in ages. It's just hard because, like, I obviously, like, I kind of keep going back and forth here about this nostalgia I have for the game, and I think the reason I'm struggling to talk about it is I'm trying to give words to feelings, which is impossible. Like, that's how nostalgic this game is to me. It's just the feeling I feel when I play this game, the music, the scenery, like even that little reflection of Buzz and the noises he makes. It brings back memories immediately. And I can't really, I don't have any specific memories associated with the game other than, like, the fact that I enjoyed playing it a lot as a kid, and that's just a hard thing to kind of just transcribe. I think it's just, like, nostalgia in a nutshell. There's no way to really convey that in words. You can only just sort of recount stories, but I don't really have any stories. I for some reason seem to remember the smell of my dad's deodorant he was wearing one time I played this game when I was 5. That's a random little memory I have. That better be, there we go. We got one of them soldier boys. Okay, I'm totally missing one and I don't know where it is. Oh jeez. Okay, just enjoy me playing. Other random memories. So I remember, obviously, my parents were divorced. Or not divorced, they were separated, but they didn't really... same thing, really. I remember my dad lived in a 2-story house. It was a rental. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's right, you gotta slam him. Alright, give me a sec. They were separated when I was like 3 years old, and my dad bought me a PlayStation because it was a nice little custody gift, if that makes sense. Like the kind of thing your dad does, because it'll win your favor. Like, you want to go over to your dad's house more because he's the one who has the PlayStation, kind of thing. And, like, I thought that was, like, really cool. I remember, like, the weird, like, I didn't understand, like, parents getting separated when you're, like, 3 years old. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, it just, you didn't really think about it. Like, you kind of think, you don't want to tell the kids because how are they going to be able to process it? And the answer is well, some kids will process it and possibly be traumatized for the rest of their life over it. But for me, I had no idea what the actual implication of that was. Anyway, where this story is going is, my dad lived in a 2-story house. I had no idea what a 2-story house was at the time. I think obviously I knew Andy lived in a 2-story house. And I think that's what my dad kind of tried to sort of say when the first time I went over to his house during the separation, that he lived in a, I live in a toy, he's like, in a two-story house, like in Toy Story with Andy's house. I think that's how he tried to explain it to me. But I thought he was saying, I live in a Toy Story house. So I genuinely thought I was moving into Andy's house from Toy Story. This would have been a fitting story for when I was actually in Andy's house. So forgive me, I'm looking for the pig. But like I just remember going over to his house for the first time, and for some reason we had to enter through this alleyway, and I know he's like opening, like, yeah, I'm like so keen to see like Andy's house and all that, and I was like severely disappointed when it was just like a normal house of stairs. It wasn't Andy's house. It was just a normal house of stairs. And that's like the worst bit about my parents separating that I remember. Just being disappointed that my dad's house didn't look like the house from Toy Story. That's kind of sad in its own way. I find it funny though. It's funny in its own way. Oh, we did complete the level. We did it. Otherwise, I think I still thought it was cool that the house had stairs, but. Oh geez, bombs away. Okay, here we go. Bombs away. Woohoo! Look at Buzz's smug face there. Oh, that's right. This is a little. That's right. It's structured. So there's like every poem rhymes, every stanza, whatever. You know the George Lucas quote. Yeah. So this is just pure boss, but like, you just laser it. You know. Avoid its attacks. Oh, that's right, you gotta like, and then, oh, you don't even have to aim at it, that's cool. I thought I had to, oh, I forgot you should charge up your fucking laser. There, fire my laser, shoop de whoop. Oh, that's a blast from the past. Holy shit, that shoop the whoop meme is maybe about as old as, it was as when I watched Toy Story or played this game. So I did my first Let's Play this game in 2010. We got it. Cool. Anyway, I'm going to finish the story before we finish. Did my first Let's Play this in 2010. And Shoop the Whoop meme was probably like 2008. So it is now 2022, which means 2008 was like what? Like, I can't count. So many years ago. Fuck it. What I'm trying to say is Shoop the Whoop is about as old as this game was when it came out, if not older than this. Fuck it. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyone watching this knows what I'm trying to say. Okay? I don't have to explain it. Anyway, Buzz defeated. Oh, it's Buzz defeated. Look at that face he's doing. Yeah, we did it. That's not a victory face. Well, it's a victory face, but not for that kind of victory. Alrighty, we did it. Thank you for watching. No, I don't want to save. Thank you, Rex. Thank you for watching. Oh, that's right. You get the little cutscenes. I'm gonna skip it though. Wait, one. Oh, that whole scene. That's my favorite scene of Toy Story 2. I thought it was so cool as a kid. Okay, and the next part we're gonna be doing construction yard. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment to let me know what you thought about this. This is new to me to be back into this kind of thing, but I really appreciate everyone watching. Like, I really do. Thank you. Farewell, and see you in the next part.